What are the
Yes.
questions?
One question was about your poster at the EuroPython. I didn't have a chance to see the presentation when it was given. So I was curious whether it was recorded or maybe you'd like to share something about it here and now if there's space for it.
Well, there wasn't a presentation. I just was there and answered people's questions.
Perchance, I love it.
Yeah, so here's my poster if you want to ask any questions. And how do you open a new window in GNOME? And here's the perchance poster. So, any questions?
All right. Uh, I do not.
So, the original poster which I showed at the conference, I guess I should have put that as well. That's this one. Had a few issues, so maybe if you looked at that one a bit, I don't know if you had the chance to look at the poster and if you took anything out of it, but if you want to see what the differences are, we can do that. Or maybe that's not interesting.
Um, so is this just a grammar file translated into this kind of diagrams? Or just? Let's say,
It's not.
with a big asterisk.
So most of it is just the grammar file translated into this. Uh, there's a lot of design decisions about which parts of the grammar to show as these like top level diagrams and which ones to inline. So I don't know. Here, for example, the try statement would have its own entry in the grammar. So that would be three kinds of try, and here
Mm-hmm.
all of them are included in the compound statement
Mm-hmm.
along with all the other statements. And this one has try, then I guess this is a forced token, which I think is just an optimization, hopefully.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's block and finally block, or you can have block, except block, else block, finally block, or you can have block, except star block, else block, finally block. So it all starts with try and ends with finally block,
Mm-hmm.
which is optional in these two cases. So that gets combined into this whole thing. Right, so you have except blah 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 blah, or except star, and in those two cases you can have an else or not. And after these two cases you can have finally or not. Or if you don't have the except, you must have a finally. So the diagram representation is a bit different than the grammar file. Would be interesting to stream the making of this. Probably need to do it again because my code is full of hacks. Anyway, what's not in the grammar file is the tokenization. So how Python tokenizes the source. There are some grammar rules in the documentation, but for the poster I just wrote new ones.
Was there something that surprised you when working on this? There was plenty, definitely.
Me? Well, I did find a bug when working on the poster. So that was fixed on the poster before it was fixed in Python. Actually, the pull request was merged right now, just today. So here in literal pattern for match case, you can match for non-true, false, strings, or numbers. And the number can have plus or minus in front of it, which is interesting because if you have, so this is Python 3.14, if you have match something case -3 like this, you can do that, but you cannot have arbitrary exception arbitrary expressions here. You can't have this. You can just have a single number. But of course this is not a single number as far as Python is concerned normally. This, like if you would use this like here, that's an expression with the unary operator minus and the number 3. Like the number, the integer doesn't really allow for plus or minus, so these are more complicated expressions, and you can match for -2 because there's a special plus or minus in the literal pattern here. Doesn't allow you to do anything else with the number. And in Python 3.14 you can't even put the plus in there. That was added in 3.15. So this is beta 4, which adds the plus, so you can do both +2 and -2. But you could also do something like this. I think in beta 4 is it fixed somehow? Oh right, you need the J here. Right, so for imaginary numbers, you can have the number followed by the same thing, like plus or minus imaginary number. And the thing that added the plus here also added an optional plus after this, so you could have 0 plus plus and then an imaginary number. So this was now fixed. And that of course surprised me. And the fixed was merged today. So it'll be in the RC.
Wow. Okay, I don't think it's going to change anything in our domain. I haven't seen much case
Nobody else
statements in the
noticed,
wild.
but I noticed on the post.
I wonder whether the match case syntax just is waiting for the time people stop supporting the older Pythons. Yeah, maybe it will lift off, but I don't see that much of it.
I actually used it quite a lot when producing the poster, because you can match, for example, an optional syntax node with a sequence of something with a repetition inside. And the match syntax can destructure this kind of complex things.
So did you translate the grammar file into some intermediary source file for the poster?
I use Python's parser for that. So in the tools directory, there's peg generator. And there's also on PyPI. It's called pgen PyPI. Go. So that's the parser generator used in CPython. It has some documentation. And the PyPI version allows you to generate Python parsers of any grammar you like. And the CPython's version is, well, that's the only one that gets bug fixes pretty much. And also it can generate C parsers. So this is a whole tool written in Python that can generate, is it this one? Somewhere. Oh, this is the one. So this is generated by the parser from the metagrammar, which is the grammar of the grammar file. I guess I should show that in here. So the syntax of the grammar file itself is described by this grammar. So you have things like I have repetitions here. Something's followed by question mark is optional, and if it's followed by a star, you can repeat it, and so on. So the parser generator parses this and generates a parser from it. You can see this is generated Python code. And this parser is then used to parse the actual grammar and generate a C parser. Which is 40,000 lines long, and it's just all generated code.
Wow. That's huge.
Yeah. Of course. And the C compiler can handle it and optimize it even.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, this has some internal API to give you the AST. So I called this tool, basically added pgen to Python path and imported it and got the actual AST that Python uses. And then made a few changes for things that are not actually in the grammar. Like the grammar for this literal pattern. It says, where is it? Complex number, signed real number plus imaginary number, or signed real number minus imaginary number, and the imaginary number is just a number. But then, once it's parsed, this function called pygen ensure imaginary is called, and wherever that's defined, action helpers. So here's the definition, and it checks that the given constant is a complex number. And if it's not, then it raises an exception. Imaginary number required in complex literal.
I see.
So if you have something else than the J here, that's where the error is raised. So there's a bunch of these syntax errors that aren't really covered by the syntax itself, like this one. Well, in this position, you need a real number, which doesn't show up in the poster. Integer, float, or imaginary. Yeah, and there's a bunch of cases like that. For another case in this literal pattern here is the strings, which normally can be F strings or T strings. Like if you look at the strings definition in the grammar, it'll be all of that. But there's again some special case that restricts it to literal strings. So you cannot have an F string here. So that one I caught in the poster and I just replaced it. Might be worth doing that in the grammar itself to clean it up. But I wonder if I should be making changes like this to Python's grammar, just to make it look better on a poster, or more generally to make the documentation more accurate. because we
Mm-hmm.
do have the entire grammar cleaned up a bit. That's available here. And sometimes there are cases where that aren't really covered. You can get syntax errors even from this.
Mm-hmm.
I guess the most obvious case is you cannot have return outside a function.
Yeah.
That would be really hard to put on this poster. Anyway, yeah, more questions? I can
No.
talk for hours about this.
That's really nice to listen to, though.
So that
the
was my
topic.
presentation. You basically ask a question at the poster and stay for however long you want.
What was your motivation to create a poster out of the grammar?
Somebody actually asked on Discuss. I think it was improving syntax documentation. Here it is. So somebody asked, could you convert the PG, like Python's grammar, to BNF so you could use it for generating railroad diagrams using existing tools?
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, people like Guido said, I love this. Nearly 50 years ago, I learned Pascal mostly from a few pages of railroad diagrams. By the way, I should also open up the Pascal diagram. If I have it somewhere. Do I have it saved somewhere? I guess it's still on the other computer. Oh, there it is.
What? Wow.
Yeah, so this was basically my inspiration. And so this was laid out by hand, as you can see by this really tightly packed arrows. I don't think you can get this from from a general purpose tool. I really like this one. Like, this is a type, so you can have a simple type. Is this an up arrow?
Yeah, it looks like an up arrow. Or
Interesting.
no, or is it a pipe symbol?
There's a higher resolution version. It's floating on the internet somewhere. Anyway, so these simple types, or you can have another type preceded by packed. So you have like this. It's full of nice touches like that. It's like part of this can be repeated in this way. This block can have a few complex things one after the other, and all of them are optional, and so on. So I put some things like that in there, but every case like that makes the poster not generatable by a generic tool. Like, the tool to make this is very specific. So here's my treatment of decorators. Have decorators before def or class.
So the dotted line, or like, it's not really dotted. How do you call it? It means that it's not obligatory.
Yeah, this doesn't let me zoom in further, but there's little arrows.
Yeah, I can see them.
The dotted lines go the opposite direction.
Ah, okay.
Anyway, any more questions?
Not that I know of, not now. But thank you for sharing.
You said you have two.
Yes, I've got another one which is not related to the poster. It's related to PEP 810. We were focusing on last time the lazy imports in Fedora.
Right.
I don't know, because I was working on finishing up the pull request, the change, and I did some testing with beta 3 before EuroPython. Everything looked really nice in Fedora. And now we have beta 4. I rebased the pull request. I ran the tests, and the tests. And the tests did not run nicely.
And it's something strange.
I didn't have that much time to dig into that, but it seems like for tests that are unrelated to our added feature, one test, there is two lines, two modules, or module names that are being attempted to be imported: concurrent futures process and process pool executor. And each of the tests fails with the same thing, and it fails when the lazy imports apparently are reified, because somewhere, somehow, pkgutil resolve name is being called, which we only call in the reification part of code. That I don't know Why is there a problem when importing internal Python things?
That is weird. Concurrent futures process pool execute.
Yes, and that's like a compound traceback because the process.py in concurrent futures tries to import multiprocessing as MP, and multiprocessing imports context, and that imports something else, and that imports pickle, and pickle will fail with key error that there's no uh, compat pickle. Uh, what I
So, is there a good way to reproduce this?
Yes, that would be a good thing. Like if
So this is tests of Python itself?
this is test of Python RPM macros, which we have in the Python RPM macros repository.
Right.
If you run it from the copy of it, it will fail the same way.
So if I do pkgutil resolve name and do this concurrent futures process pool executor, that works. So you're testing on beta 4?
Yes.
Okay, so that's this one. Okay, so this by itself will work. But a lazy import will not work. Current features has no attribute process. Huh. That's interesting. So it fails on like what are the failing tests here?
There's quite a lot of them. And
are there any that don't fail?
there is quite a lot that don't, or even within that test module.
Okay, from syspath, files are found, returns failed modules. So let's see. This is import all modules.py, and the tests are what do these failed tests have in common? Syspath append?
Could be.
Well, this one failed as well. Which was from Syspath found. The first one that does Syspath append. Okay, so maybe I need to run this.
I'm sorry, I was, yeah, there were things happening. If you reset and get your remote branch as it is now, you will get the latest state. I had to first push because of the rebase.
And what am I fetching? My own branch?
Your own fork,
Ah, okay.
not a clean one.
And I'm on this one. So let's switch to that. And how do I test this?
Run virtual env with Python 3.15 usually.
Done this before.
Yes, we were doing that before.
Okay, and I do
-m pytest test import. Test import.
Oh,
Yes.
All right. Can you produce?
Yes. Yes, a lot of beautiful failures there.
Okay, right. so if I only run test lazy imports are imported, it passes. So something is messing up the state. If I run the first one here, that should... Oh! That passes.
It passes.
So, what's happening? So, if I run the first one that fails, and the test lazy imports are imported, should be 4, they both pass. So something is wrong here. Okay, so let me rerun the tests on save and just nuke half of the tests.
There's always the 13 tests that fail.
Okay, so this half of the tests contains the issue. This quarter, that is fine. So let's get rid of the other half. Okay, so somewhere here we have an issue. Still there. Okay, so this fails. This passes. Interesting. Okay, so if you run test modules from file are found after test main raises error when no modules provided, you get the error.
Yes.
That is very interesting. So it's not the only thing that triggers the issue. So is it modules main actually?
Modules main appears 20 times, which is more.
Modules path found.
What do we do here?
I guess it's not modules main. Aha, so if I remove the test main raises error when the modules provided, I still get the issue. So it's caused by something else as well. guess the tests could use a bit more isolation. Looks like anything can trigger this.
Yeah.
Read modules from CLI. Well, okay, I guess another way to try to figure things out is put some prints in this loop here. What is going on? So from pickle import pickle buffer, we get a key error compat pickle just from that import. Okay. And then module concurrent futures has no attribute process and resolve name. What does this bkg util resolve name do? There's a lenient pattern and a strict pattern. We are looking for the lenient pattern. Pattern, and if we got a colon, there's a one-step import. If there's no colon, we have to iterate and find the package boundary. So we do parts import mod name. While there are parts, we try to import the given module. And whenever we get an import error, we break, and then we get an attribute. So this means concurrent.futures.process could not be imported. And then we get this attribute error.
Yes. And it couldn't be imported because of the multiprocessing chain when coming to pickle.
Let's try this. Oh, this is standard error. Yeah, so when we're trying to import concurrent futures process pool executor, we get the compat pickle error, and then when we try to import concurrent features process, we get the no process here. Which means this process couldn't be imported. So what does this do? Concurrent features process.py tries importing multiprocessing, which tries importing pickle, which tries importing pickle buffer, which tries importing compat pickle. What is this compat pickle? Import module compat pickle.
There is a Python file, Python module compat pickle.
Which is used to map old Python 2 names to new names used in Python 3. Okay, that that makes sense in a way. But why are we getting key error here? What do we do with the word compat pickle? We do import module compat pickle, object get other string. That's when we already have compat pickle. And then it only appears in error messages. Why do we get a key error here? And is this the first time we're importing pickle? Oh, let's try that. So we import concurrent features process. And get a much nicer error message. I just do this, I get the error. Just concurrent features doesn't cut it. If I try to import compat pickle, that's okay. If I try to import underscore pickle, I get the key error from this import. Okay. Now is pickle already imported? So something is wrong in the initialization of the pickle module. Looks like. But how did we get here? So if I just run Python and do import pickle, everything's fine. So something is weird here. Well, what can I do? I can print out sys.modules, I guess. And I can print out lazy modules. Put a incline between them. So maybe if I import all of these and lazy import all of these, I can reproduce. Hopefully.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, here's my script. And of course import our modules, that's our thing. Test module, that's our thing. Okay, that didn't work.
But is it because lazy import does not reify the things? You have to use them in order to actually import them.
So afterwards I need to import this, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's a good point.
Yes, but of course.
But that works. I should get this. Yeah, that. Okay, that didn't work. What is going on here? Key error compat pickle. How do we get to key error compat pickle? If I get the native traceback format from PyTest, get the same thing here. If I do import lib import module, do I get something better? Right, call with frames removed. Where is that? exec module. This will called imp.exec dynamic. Okay, so this is the exec of the pickle module. So that will be this pickle exec. Pickle gets state. Hopefully gets the module. It'll create some types. Some exceptions. Then it will do pickle init state. And then import the module compat pickle. And I guess somewhere here we're getting the error. So let's step through this. Pickle init state, right? So let's debug that and download some debug info, break out pickle init state, and run this whole thing. Yeah, so by the way, it sucks when I'm on a train. I have to download debug info from Fedora. Okay, this didn't hit the breakpoint. Which is weird. Well, I guess this was compiled with optimizations, wasn't it?
Our Python most definitely will do it.
Okay, so pickle.c. So pickle exec needs to be an actual function that's given to the interpreter. So we should now be at 8216, roughly this line, and let's try to step through. Pickle get state. The line number is off here because we're probably at a slightly different branch. So this is 3.15.0 beta 4, right?
Yes.
Okay, good. Hopefully this part is not passed. So let's see. Create type, create type, create type, create type. Pickle error. Add some objects. And then do pickle init state. Step into that. And we're now at line 277. Nice. Pickle init state. So get through a bunch of stuff here. Inverted registry, extension cache, copyrag, and then we import module compat pickle. And what is compat bad pickle? 0, so we got an error here.
But okay, yes.
So I've got an error here, and it's a key error. So this will return all the way. Now we can see by error occurred. Which is interesting. I don't see much from that. But this looks like it's the key error. So PyImport import module somehow got an error. So let's try to set a breakpoint at pickle.c 325. I can disable breakpoint 3 and see if we hit this. Yep. So I can step into that. Can I get this? Is there some special repository for debug source?
Oh, this should be in the standard repositories.
Okay, so
try Python free debug or Python.
oh, I guess this file is no longer there. Anyway, import.c 3621 is PyImport import module. Yeah, so we just don't have the source file. That's fine. And that does PyImport import. Okay, this this stepping through is a bit weird. Can I put stuff here? Let me just 4734. Okay, 72925. Oh, here it is.
Here.
So it called the import function, which you had to look up. That went fine, but it did not put the module in sys.modules. Is that what happened here? Where's my tests here? So if I import compat pickle, right, and then I see if this is in sys.modules. It is. What the hell happened here?
I didn't expect it to be such a rabbit hole.
This. Oh, and we're out of time, aren't we?
We are. I have like 12 more minutes, but I don't want to force you to go over time with this.
I should probably go back. So, oh, this is interesting. Let's continue next week.
All right.
So next week it's the release candidate 1 release date. So it's probably too late to change anything. But wow, this is interesting. I have well, so I guess what then the next thing to do is to compile Python from source and step through that, which will hopefully have the right debug info and not as many optimizations. Right, well,
Okay.
thanks for sticking with me.
Oh, thank you for debugging this.
See you next week.